oh, is this really loli game? Like, I don't even care if somebody's like 18 or on the cusp of like turning 19. At the end of the day, high school can very much involve a minor. And when you scroll down and go to the information, it is a OVA by a studio known as Rabbit Cave with no licensors, but the genre is in fact hentai. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if it's hentai and involves high school people, it does in fact fall under the loli banner, and that is never okay in any capacity. Now, obviously,
is it? Oh my god, I don't want to do the age of consent, but is that true? If they're hentai and it's 18-year-old high schoolers, is that Lolicon? I thought Lolicon was like fucking like actual like kiddie kids. Where are my Lolicon experts? I know you fucking perverts are out there.
Obviously, these videos existing on YouTube kind of, again, led us to some credence that maybe it wasn't, you know, this like borderline illicit material. But again, these were also smaller YouTube channels, so chances are they probably weren't swept up under the YouTube moderation, which is something that also should have really been considered from my end. It should have been something that I never watched in the first place. I should have never, you know, condoned. And honestly, it's pretty shitty to even contribute to somewhat normalizing this material. When there's a lot of large creators that work with a person, you know, you tend to have this level of like authority brought into it. And there is obviously a blind spot when this is somebody that you consider to be a friend at the time. And obviously, when you work with that person and you see other large...
What? So what happened? He watched a clip of some lolly while he was on YouTube and he commented on it or something?
Creators that you're also friends with work with that person. It just, again, swells up that blind spot that you make. But again, no real excuses over there. You shouldn't really have a blind spot in the first place. And again, it's not only me being a poor judge of character, but I should have absolutely have spotted this years ago. So for that, I absolutely own up to my fuck up here. But again, I don't think this is literally us gooning together watching loli in this manner. This is a collaboration where it happens pretty much on the fly, and it's not, you know, representative of the kind of shit that I consume on a daily...
Okay, hold on. What is a lolly? These are lollies. Hayashi Kinyu, Ilsifil von Einsburn, Tatsumaki, Ilulu, Oshino... Oh, I shouldn't be saying this. You guys might look these up. I'm not trying to normalize this, okay? And then it lists the ages underneath. She's 42, she's 18, 28, a few hundred years old, 598, 961, and ageless. These are not lollies, okay? And then it lists a bunch of people under 18. I'm guessing it's going to go on to make the distinction between how they're drawn or something. Whether a character is a lolly or not is not dependent on their age. If it is, a lot of the well-known lolly characters wouldn't even qualify as lollies. Why does this happen? Because they are fictional characters, so they can be whatever their creators want them to be, and you shouldn't be expecting fiction to be exactly like reality in the first place, because it isn't, or else what some people might want you to believe. Lolly isn't inherently sexual, but didn't the term originate from Nabokov's Lolita? It might have influenced some parts, but the actual Japanese anime and manga term Lolicon can actually be traced back to Lolita Complex by Russell Trainer. In modern anime manga slang, lolly just means a young-looking girl. Gothic Lolita fashion is not a children's fashion or an erotic fashion because Lolita doesn't mean child nor is inherently sexual. Just because you don't want to admit that you were attracted to a lolly character before doesn't mean all the lolly characters aren't lollies anymore. They have always been lollies and will continue to be. And if a character has lolly attributes and the creators say themselves she's a lolly, you are not in any position to say that she's not. Okay. Shinobu's lolly scale. Okay, we have lolly on the left. This looks like a 6-year-old. And then all the way on the right, we have not lolly, who looks like a fully developed, mature woman. And then we have in the middle, the arguable middle ground. Lolly is a body type, but it's not just a single body type, but a fairly wide range of varying body types. Things that makes a character a lolly: a young-looking or childlike face, a small/petite and fairly underdeveloped body frame compared to her adult peers of the same species. Exceptions if the character is of a species where everyone has smaller, petite bodies. Lolly types. We have true lolly. Lolly characters that are younger than 10. They look like you put like twice. They look like kids and would often act like kids, although exceptions exist. Teen lolly. Lolly characters that are between 10 to legal age. They're usually bigger than true lollies, although exceptions exist. They usually have a mixed features of true lollies and JKs, although they look younger than JKs. I don't know what JK means, but legal lolly. Lolly characters that are of legal age. There's really no set rules for how they should look. Some of them look like teen lollies, while others look like true lollies. The only requirement is that they are of legal age. Legal lollies will always look younger than their actual age. And then Opie lolly, lolly with big breasts. They can be either true lollies, teen lollies, or legal lollies, as they are not mutually exclusive. The only difference is that they have an ample bosom. Sorry. There you go. Welcome to the lolly walkthrough of... I don't care.
Daily basis or anything of that nature. Like, I would never willingly and honestly like watch something like this, you know, out of nowhere. This is just insane. And I wanted to really bring this up and bring this into the context of what...
Wait, so would you... I thought lolly had to be hentai. So could you say, like, is Sailor Moon Lolicon? Or we've got mixed chat. Okay.
this clip was and why we had watched this kind of stuff. And any jokes that I make in these situations, really any jokes that anybody makes in collaborations like this, is usually because everyone's just playing into the high shock factor of something like this. Does that excuse any behavior? Absolutely not.
And he showed us something very weird, and I remember getting somewhat upset about it, not liking it that much. It was me, him, and Quite.
We could unmask this YouTuber. I'm not going to say who it is, though.
Fuck. I want to say it was something involving a dog, too. But
Exactly.
Probably 900-year-old cum vamp for far too long.
These are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse we're looking at right now. This is like some mythological.
They've been around since long before civilization.
Exactly. Wait, should I watch those videos?
This is the 5 rules of the Onami household.
Okay.
These are the little sisters, by the way.
Okay, this is a hentai?
First rule, hug your little sister every day.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, it's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with the hug. Yeah, it's fine.
No, the third rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
Oh. But in this situation, I just wanted to provide you the context of all of this, right? This wasn't us sitting together watching Loli, just on like the off time. This is a collaboration for one of Nux's main channel videos. And at the time, really nobody thought about it. But we should have. So a lot of these big creators, you can start to see like really big names. Obviously, Project Melody, Critical, MXR Plays. I don't know if that's actually Iron Mouse, but yeah, you can see plenty of creators that Nux has worked with. And for a while, there's been plenty of collaborations where like big creators jump on. They get
JK equals Joshi Kosei, high school girl, usually referring to a typical preppy high school girl character. Gotcha.
shown like crazy shit, crazy hentai, or sometimes participate in like, game shows, so to speak. And that's really the extent of it. Nux is a pretty big collaborator in that space. And realistically, I kind of just walked around expecting him on good faith when he said that, he's pretty anti-loli and obviously wouldn't have shown us anything that would be very adjacent to it. And obviously with a lot of these larger creators also collaborating with him, I'm sorry to say it really did blindside me. There was a bias, call it, friendship bias, call it,
The argument is that Muda goes super hard on Lolly and canceled Chris Tyson for it, but he's the same in the past. Now he tries to virtue signal hard, but then got even more pushback and went back, oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
There's other creators working on it, but really it was something that I was putting up a blind spot to, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I really shouldn't have done that collaboration, and I really shouldn't have watched that content, and in any way contributed to normalizing it. I 100% obviously condemn Lolly, and I 100% condemn my actions in that situation. But again, one of the reasons why I do really want to address this is I don't like obviously reading the facts that I am some level of a pedo or a defender of this or anything. I have made plenty of videos crapping on individuals and burning a bridge with creators who I don't necessarily agree with. If I have ever at any point normalized their actions, people like Mama Max, where I did stick up for, amongst plenty of other creators. But I think obviously if really bad information comes out and new information comes out, you have to publicly correct it. You have to publicly explain, updates to a situation. I could swipe this stuff under the rug, but I choose to upload it on the main channel because I think that's really where taking accountability is at. I don't want to pretend like I am just burying my head in the sand. This was a wrong thing for me to do, and 100% I own up to it completely. So one of the things that I don't agree with is a lot of the over-sexualization in the thumbnails, right? So there were actually collections of thumbnails collected in these videos where things were pretty NSFW, all right? Or at least they were highly sexualized, but even that isn't as bad as one of the examples that I want to show you. Now, if you're looking at this video called Cursed Speedrun Fails, this was uploaded 3 years ago, and if you're looking at the thumbnail, it is XQC screaming at some video game with Nux's VTuber in the corner and going, what the fuck? Now, the thing is, the problem with this situation is the thumbnail that came before is absolutely filthy. So this one video, where again, the thumbnail is different, XQC is still very much in the corner. You can see a speedrunning.
Did Muda seek advice from you at all? No, he did not come to me. But if he would have come to me, I don't know what I would have said. I would say, who the fuck cares? Who cares? I'm looking at Lolly right now. Just kidding. Unless you were caught like fucking jerking it to it, who actually fucking cares? But the complicated thing would be if he's super condemned people in the past for it, well, now you've kind of got yourself in a bind. I don't know.
Timer, you can see Nux's character, his avatar, right here on the right side, but the middle that I'm blurring especially involves a dog bending over and inserting themselves into what appears to be a female character. So obviously this has nothing to do with the actual content, it's just a hypersexualized thumbnail. Now even with a thumbnail like that, had nothing to do with anything hypersexualized, so I don't know why we had to insert zoophilia into like a speedrunning thumbnail. To me it makes no sense, but...
What's the difference between zoophilia and bestiality? Aren't they both fucking animals? What's the difference? Where are my animal fucking experts? It's the same thing. Okay.
Obviously, looking through a larger collection of these thumbnails that were uploaded on numerous other channels covering this topic, yeah, it really is a pattern that back in the day, and Nux even touched upon this, that, years ago, that this was something they did, whether it be for some form of clickbait or, capture or something that was...
Oh, zoophilia is the attraction, bestiality is the act. Okay.
Normalized in the anime community. Any form of zoophilia, any form of, hentai like this, or hypersexualization, or, if you even insert, like, Loli into the thumbnail, for instance, that's not okay. And obviously...
Any type of Wait, hold on. What about, like, of age people fucking each other who are furries? Is that not okay, too? Jesus. I thought this was America. What?
Things that, if you slightly change in the background, it's going to rub people the wrong way. You should really just be upfront and honest. And honestly, you should never even have done this in the first place. But yeah, this is one of those things that kind of like obviously was brought up, and it's one thing that I wanted to address as one of the principal reasons as to why this isn't okay. But I think an even bigger reason is one of these situations regarding another creator known as Bungo Taiga, which is a creator that also had their entire YouTube channel pretty much terminated for nudity and sexual content policy.
Is the Turkey Tom bridge burnt? No, me and Tom are fine. You guys are weird.
Preface also going forward into this video, I don't know much more about Bungo Taiga other than what I'm about to read here for you, and again, just covering this one specific case. So I don't know what level of degeneracy, if anything, this person also falls into, so don't consider anything that I'm saying as a co-signing of this individual. I'm looking at a very hyper-specific event in this point in time. I just want to make that readily apparent. So to go over a bit of their controversy, in summer 2022, Taiga was accused of grooming. They made a tweet longer where they reviewed the allegations and called them false. Later, an updated Google Doc was created that had evidence that not only were these allegations fake, they were deliberately created by ex-moderators and spread by a stalker of Taiga. So again, this is the Google Doc in question. Now again, I have no idea about this controversy whatsoever. I'm only bringing this up because it was actually a big point of contention attention for someone like Nux. So even the actual person, Tyga Holic, actually ended up making like a 57-minute like piece where they kind of went over this and really were just grilling Nux for not really correcting the record. The record had to be corrected because in this situation, Nux literally made a video where he was showcasing controversies to a popular creator known as Penguin Zero. Now inside this, he actually goes out and says, hey all, I edited out the Bungo Tyga segment of this video.
Wait, Penguin Zero? Isn't that Moist Critical or Charlie? Do people really call him Penguin Zero? Or is that normal? Or I don't know.
Although I say in the video itself a disclaimer that I do not know the full story and do not take what I say too seriously, I would rather not be a cause for possible misinformation floating around now that new information was revealed. I'm still in the dark on a lot of details as I heard both sides of this event and don't know what to think. I'm sorry if I caused any undue harm. So I personally apologize to Tyga for their side and they discuss my claim going forward. If the truth comes out, be it guilty or innocent, but I intend to set the record straight in the future when I understand the situation. So it's wild as fuck that we're covering pretty serious stories like this, but we don't have the entire story, or at least enough to make a video. That is basically how you bring on actual misinformation. So in this story, Tyga did not appear to be too happy with this entire situation. They actually talked about it again in that VOD I brought up, Nuxtaku Can't Stop Lying.
You think I deplatformed him? People are blaming me for deplatforming.
Wait, did he sound like me for like 1 second when he's like, do you think? Did that sound like my voice? Am I crazy? Wait.
Situation, they actually talked about it again in that VOD I brought up, Nuxtaku Can't Stop Lying.
You think I deplatformed him? People are blaming me for deplatforming him. He got banned for sexual content. But you're blaming me for deplatforming him? Destroyed his life? You think I destroyed his life when the video where I talked about apologizing for it has more views than the video where I originally mentioned it, like as a throwaway sentence? Over false allegations? I didn't make any allegations. I said what someone else said, and I was wrong to do that. But like, there are so many comments like this everywhere.
I don't particularly think that was ever a great response in the situation. Like, yes, just because you regurgitated what somebody else said, when it comes to something this serious, it probably should have been something that you were 100% on money for. It's a pretty massive fuck up, and it's not a fuck up that you can just, put in a pinned comment or a, side channel that people, may or may not see. At the end of the day, when it involves something incredibly serious, like, incredibly serious, like sexual assault stuff, you should 100% correct the record and make an actual real, it doesn't have to be like you slapping yourself in the face in front of it. It just really has to be a sincere apology that, again, you post on a main channel. The reason I'm doing this video, for instance, on a main channel is because I really do want to set the record straight. I really don't have anything to hide, and to be honest with you, when it comes to a situation like this, it's best that I set the record straight with my community. I'm not ashamed of involving people that wouldn't know about it. I don't really want to hide things under a rug because I have nothing to hide. At the end of the day, that to me is more shady. I've called people out for really bad behavior, and I think this is probably some of the worst that I've seen, especially when it comes to reporting on something that you probably never should have in the first place, especially when it would have cost somebody, a lot of issues down the road, right? Even the comment section over here isn't entirely happy about the situation because obviously they say if you know how the internet works, then you'll know why that little clip can end a career of somebody. You said it, people are calling other people stuff, but it never gets to somewhere because they don't have to reach to. But if some idiot with almost 800k subs, it doesn't matter if a million people see it. At least 1/8 of them are going to clip it and repost it, which is really true. If you make a serious fuck up like that, I think not only is removing the video a big problem, but you really got to go onto your main channel and address these situations. If you make a fuck up, especially one where you inadvertently end up...
Okay, bro. I don't care. Nobody got raped. Nobody jerked off to real kids. I'm bored. All right. It's time. I hope you fuckers were paying attention. We are doing our Macro Econ 1402 Principles of Macro Econ first problem set. Question 1, 35 points. Economic data. This question will ask you to get familiar with economic data, plotting it and drawing conclusions. Please use the Federal Reserve Economic Data Database, FRED, maintained by the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Link here. We use this site all the time. Based website. For your reference, note that the National Bureau of Economic Research